Now, the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
AFP slams fake news on alleged coup plot. Philippine Army places HADR teams on high alert for Storm Opong. Mirasol and Nando leave over 565 million pesos initial agricultural damage. Former DPWH official admits wrongdoing, seeks state witness protection as he vows to release more evidence of corruption. Good day everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Friday, September 26, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Rofh Suzon, this is Joyce Simbahon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines strongly denied the circulating fake news about an alleged coup plot involving the Central Intelligence Agency and Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. The AFP stressed that this is outright disinformation aimed at eroding public trust, weakening the chain of command, and sowing division between the president and the military. It assured the nation that the Armed Forces remains loyal to the Constitution and the chain of command, committed only to defending the Republic. The AFP urged the public not to believe, not to share, and to expose such malicious contempts to destabilize the country.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippine Army placed its humanitarian assistance and disaster response teams on high alert for severe tropical storm Opong. A total of 149 disaster response teams with 1,946 soldiers, reservists, and civilian armed forces geographical unit. Active auxiliary members are on standby in Bicol and Eastern Visayas, while 1,610 more personnel across Luzon are on red alert for augmentation. The Army also continues relief efforts in northern Luzon, where 81 soldiers and 3 military trucks support communities affected by Super Typhoon Nando. Army Chief Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete assured the readiness of HADR units and emphasized their commitment to provide immediate aid during calamities.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have more updates from Shaira about Philippine Navy seizes 9.1 million pesos cigarette contraband and nabs 5 off Sulu. Shaira?
Yes, good afternoon. The Western Mindanao Naval Command arrested 5 suspects and seized 9.1 million pesos worth of smuggled cigarettes during a patrol off Panamao, Sulu. Navy personnel aboard BRP Hermenegildo Yorong intercepted motorboat MFB Gazi carrying 160 master cases of undocumented cigarettes. The vessel and contraband were secured and turned over to Naval Station Romulo Espaldon in Zamboanga City for investigation and handover to the Bureau of Customs. Western Mindanao Naval Command Commander Rear Admiral Constancio Arturo Reyes Jr. said that the operation highlights the Navy's commitment to protect Western Mindanao waters from smuggling and other illicit activities. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And Brigadier General Frederick Sales, commander of the 101st Infantry Brigade, led Trajan paratroopers in the Special Forces Regiment Airborne Wide Airborne Sustainment Training in Barangay Limooc, Lamitan City, Basilan. A total of 140 jumpers from the 6th Special Forces Battalion showcased their airborne skills and operational proficiency during the exercise. Trajan paratroopers actively participated in the training and reinforced their capabilities and joint readiness. The activity highlighted the Philippine Army's commitment in honing elite troopers' skills for enhanced mission effectiveness.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the local Amnesty Board of Cagayan de Oro awarded 8 safe conduct passes to friends rescued in a ceremony at Camp Evangelista. The recipients, referred by the 58th Infantry Battalion, are part of 23 total applications endorsed to the National Amnesty Commission. Lieutenant Colonel Gilberto Nohay, 4th Infantry Division's designated officer in charge on the amnesty program, reaffirmed 4ID's full support for the program and its goal reintegration. Former rebels expressed gratitude, saying the passes allow them to live normal lives free from fear while awaiting amnesty approval.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Amy about Naval Forces Central hosts shipboard tour for Cebu children. Amy?
The Naval Forces Central, or NFC, hosted a shipboard tour for children under the care of Cebu Children Foundation Incorporation as part of its community outreach. The kids boarded BRP Apolinario Mabini, BRP Rafael Pargas, and Patrol Boat 358, where sailors guided them through different ship sections and explained naval operations. The activity inspired the children with lessons on maritime defense, humanitarian missions, and disaster response while giving them a memorable hands-on experience. NFC reaffirmed its commitment in engaging communities and inspiring the younger generation through educational and meaningful initiatives. This is Ami reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Amy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And Army Chief Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete joined the 14th Indo-Pacific Army's Chief Conference in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from September 23 to 26, 2025. He stressed the importance of adopting land forces to the evolving global defense landscape and reaffirmed the Army's commitment to a stable and inclusive regional order. Meanwhile, 5th Infantry Division Commander Major General Gulliver Senieres attended the 49th Indo-Pacific Army's Management Seminar, while SMS Wenceslao Galasio Jr., the Division Sergeant Major of the 1st Infantry Division, took part in the 11th Senior Enlisted Forum. The events, co-hosted by the United States Army and Malaysian Army, foster dialogue, cooperation, and stronger defense ties among Indo-Pacific nations.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National
the rice sector suffered the biggest losses following the onslaught of Tropical Depression Mirasol and Super Typhoon Nando, as well as the Southwest Monsoon or Habagat. According to the Department of Agriculture Disaster Risk Reduction and Management's Operations Center, the 565 million worth of initial agricultural damage affecting more than 17,000 farmers. Production losses covered 49,896 metric tons across more than 16,000 hectares of farmland in these regions. Affected areas include the Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabar Zone, Mimaropa, and Western Visayas. The highest volume of losses was logged in Cagayan and the northernmost provinces, followed by Isabela.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Civil Relations Group about 702nd Infantry Brigade joins 3rd quarter RPOC meeting in La Union. Meljoy?
Yes, good afternoon. The 702nd Infantry Defender Brigade participated in the 3rd quarter meeting of the Regional Peace and Order Council of Region 1 held at Enad's Place Hotel and Resort in San Fernando City, La Union. The event had gathered key leaders and stakeholders from various government agencies, law enforcement units, and local government officials. Discussions centered on sustaining peace and security in the region, strengthening interagency cooperation, and addressing emerging security challenges that affect the safety and development. The 702nd Infantry Brigade was represented by Deputy Commander Colonel Charles D.C. Castillo, Infantry MNSA Philippine Army, and was accompanied by Major Sergeant M. Manalon, Military Intelligence Philippine Army, acting operations officers of the brigade, who presented an update on the brigade's effort to sustain the status of the stable internal peace and security and prevent communist terrorist group resurgence in the province of Pangasinan. The participation of the 702nd Brigade underscores the unit's ongoing commitment in supporting regional peace and order initiatives, as well as its strong partnership with stakeholders in advancing stability, security, and progress in Region 1. This is Meljo Inesio Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of the Interior and Local Government urged all local chief executives in Albay to take immediate and proactive preparedness actions in anticipation of possible lahar flows from Mayon volcano due to heavy rains in Tropical Cyclone Opong. This directive is aligned with the call of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to strengthen the climate resilience and disaster response capabilities of local government units. The President has emphasized the need for anticipatory action to protect lives and livelihoods, especially in climate-vulnerable areas such as Bicol. The DILG directed them to coordinate closely with the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council to maintain vigilance and readiness in lahar-prone zones.
DWDD National News.
And access to health care and medicine for overseas Filipino workers, including their families, will soon be made easier through a new mobile diagnostic clinic and the Alagang OWA Butika. OWA Administrator Patricia Yvonne Kaunan thanked First Lady Liza Arneta Marcos and President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for donating a lab for all mobile medical and clinical laboratory trucks to the agency, which would benefit OFWs and their families. Kaunan said aside from the mobile clinic, OWA also launched its Alagang OWA Butika under the Yakap. She said this would help many of the countrymen because they will register it under the Yakap program of PhilHealth, which means free services for the countrymen, and at the same time, it is sustainable because it is not from OWA, as PhilHealth will bear all expenses for our OFWs.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And from Northern Luzon Command, let us hear some information from Joanne about Cordillera remains peaceful amid heightened campaigns against insurgency and illegal drugs. Joanne?
The Police Regional Office Cordillera, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Philippine Army affirmed that Cordillera is generally peaceful with the continuing heightened campaign on law and order, anti-insurgency, and illegal drugs. This was reported during the Cordillera Regional Peace and Order Council, or RPOC, third quarter 2025 full council meeting in Baguio City, Thursday, September 25. The RPOC meeting was presided by PROCAR Regional Director Police Brigadier General Erickson Dilag with Brigadier General Renan Salvador of the 503rd Infantry Brigade and Department of the Interior and Local Government Regional Director Anthony Nuida. Primary on the agenda were the updates on the peace and order situation from PROCAR, on the regional security situation from the Philippine Army, and on the campaign against illegal drugs, wherein all reports showed significant accomplishments. With the campaign against gender-based violence as among the RPOC priority thrusts, the Department of Social Welfare and Development Cordillera also presented a regional situationer and two proposed resolutions for the RPOC related to such concern. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
And Department of Public Works and Highways Secretary Vince Dizon has recommended a third-party assessment of the Estero de Sunog-Apog pumping station in Gagalangin, Tondo, which is criticized for being constantly broken. Dizon noted that the facility on Hermosa Street, which cost over 774 million, is part of the DPWH flood control project to prevent flooding in low-lying areas of Manila, such as Espana Boulevard, Sampaloc District, Rizal Avenue, and Maria Maria Clara Street. During the inspection, it was found out that no independent third-party assessment had been done on the project since it was completed in 2020 and despite repeated repair works almost every year. Dizon, along with Manila Mayor Isko Moreno and Baguio City Mayor and Independent Commission for Infrastructure Special Advisor Benjamin Magalong, inspected the facility on September 24.
DWDD National News.
And Education Undersecretary Olayvar denied involvement in the alleged kickback scheme linked to the projects under the Department of Public Works and Highways, saying he is open to a full investigation. His statement came after former DPWH Undersecretary for Operations Roberto Bernardo, in an affidavit presented during the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, named Olayvar as among the high-ranking officials who allegedly received kickbacks. Olayvar denied the allegations made and wants to state clearly that he welcomes any investigation regarding this matter. The DepEd official added that he would voluntarily take a leave of absence to ensure a fair inquiry.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Jimboy about AFP MACFI ROTC cadets sharpen marksmanship skills in Basilan live fire training. Jimboy?
Cadet from the Mindanao Autonomous College Foundation Incorporation, Reserve Officer Training Corps honed their shooting skill during a live firing exercise at the 18th Infantry Battalion range. Major James Audit Jackie, ROTC Commandant, and Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Caro, 18 IB Commander, lead the training focus on safety aiming and firing techniques. Cadets gain hand-on experience in weapon handling and target engagement under strict safety protocols. The activity is strengthening 18 IB and MACFI's partnership in building a capable reserve force for national defense. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
Former Department of Public Works and Highways Undersecretary for Operations Roberto Bernardo admitted to committing wrongdoing during his tenure and requested state witness protection as he prepared to disclose sensitive information about irregularities in government projects. In a statement submitted to the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, Bernardo acknowledged that he failed to uphold his duties faithfully, apologizing to the government, the public, his family, and those he said he had disappointed. He said he allowed himself to become an instrument in the execution of wrongful acts and he is ready to do everything necessary to correct his mistakes and ensure such actions do not recur. Bernardo's statement also included his pledge of full cooperation with the ongoing investigation into reported anomalies in DPWH projects, particularly flood control initiatives. He submitted an affidavit detailing his personal knowledge of events relevant to the inquiry and indicated his intention to expand on related incidents involving other officials.
DWDD National News.
And Senator Francis Escudero strongly denied allegations by former Department of Public Works and Highways Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, linking him to kickbacks from government projects. Escudero said Bernardo's testimony was malicious and baseless, stressing that the former DPWH official himself admitted to having no direct dealings with him. Escudero declared he will prove that he is lying about my alleged involvement. The senator suggested that the accusations form part of a broader scheme to discredit the Senate and distract the public from what he described as the real perpetrators. He questioned why other officials were not being implicated in Bernardo's testimony.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
From Philippine Air Force, let us hear some updates from Apple regarding Philippine Air Force holds Wellness and Resilience Forum 2025. Apple?
The Philippine Air Force, through the Office of the Chief Surgeon Air Force, held the Wellness and Resilience Forum 2025 at Villamor Air Base, Pasay City. Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, the commanding general, underscored that true air power relies on the wellness and resilience of personnel, stressing the importance of strong minds and spirits for mission readiness. The forum featured expert discussions on suicide prevention, social media and gambling, anxiety and depression, as well as spiritual guidance and an inspirational talk. The event affirms the Air Force commitment to safeguarding both the capabilities and well-being of its airmen. This is Apple Burabo reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Apple.
DWDD National News.
And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. bid farewell to Chinese ambassador to the Philippines, Wang Xilian, saying the Philippines will miss him. The president received the outgoing Chinese ambassador in a farewell call in Malacanang. Marcos also said it was unfortunate the Philippines and China did not make progress in the West Philippine Sea dispute. He added that it is unfortunate that they didn't make such more progress on the difficulties in the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea. Wang started his tour of duty as Chinese envoy to the Philippines in 2019.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Agriculture urged rice farmers in the Visayas to explore corn production to beef up the country's needed supply. The DA National Corn Program Director Milo de los Reyes said they are looking into corn after rice planting. With the exception of Cebu, de los Reyes said the Visayas is traditionally low in corn production. The September 23 to 25 Congress seeks to encourage the 500 corn industry stakeholders from Western Visayas, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, and Negros Island region to exert more effort in boosting corn production.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from MJ about Philippine Air Force airlifts relief goods to Kalayaan Island after Super Typhoon Nando. MJ?
The Philippine Air Force deployed 2 Black Hawk helicopters to deliver over 800 boxes of relief goods from Lawag City to Kalayaan Island, Cagayan yesterday. The supplies from Department of Social Welfare and Development and Department of Education will support timely aid distribution to typhoon-affected families. Pilots and crew from the 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing with Tactical Operations Group 1 and partner agencies carried out the mission. The Philippine Air Force vowed continued swift and coordinated disaster response to protect Filipino communities. This is MJ reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, MJ. From our reporter on the ground, let's hear the report of Kath about Philippine Air Force deploy C-130 to deliver relief, fly home stranded individuals in Batanes. Kath?
Yes, good noon. The Philippine Air Force deployed a C-130 cargo aircraft to airlift 1,000 family food bags from Pasay City to Basco, Batanes yesterday and bring home 88 stranded individuals, including LSIs and tourists. The operation was carried out with support from Tactical Operations Group 2, the Philippine National Police, Bureau of Fire Protection, 30th Marine Company, Marine Battalion Landing Team 10, and reservists. The mission provided timely relief and transport assistance to affected communities. The PAF reaffirmed its commitment to humanitarian service and nationwide disaster response. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has signed into law Republic Act 123006, granting the Pampanga Rural Electric Service Cooperative Incorporated a 25-year franchise to operate and maintain a power distribution system. This is in 4 towns of Pampanga Province. The new law allows Presco to construct, install, establish, manage, and operate facilities for the distribution of electricity in 34 barangays across the municipality municipalities of Mexico, Arayat, Santa Ana, and Magalang. Under the franchise, Presco is mandated to provide reliable and affordable electricity service, ensure non-discriminatory access to its system, and promote consumer protection through a dedicated consumer desk. It is also required to comply with labor standards, create employment opportunities, and allow the on-the-job training for local residents.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in next week for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Joyce Imbaon for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.